Join Saki every Wednesday, live at 10 p.m. GM time. Meet the who's who in Ghana and who is coming to Ghana of Culturally Lit Africa.
My name is Aleida Castillo. You're listening to Culturally Lit Africa. I am your host of Culturally Lit Radio Show.
I'm an open book, really just looking to create opportunity for people.
If you're a great singer and you don't have a good character, you don't know how to talk to your musicians, you will always change musicians.
If you have a church,
Yes.
or maybe a crusade, and you mention that Jesus is black, you might lose all your members. I'm telling you.
When I take a look at in your eyes, then I saw those tears which are run through your face. Immediately good spin goes gets me like ice. But that one girl never make me feel so nice. Me remember those days in my roots, Mama Africa you used.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Culturally Lit Africa. We are live again. You know, it's Wednesday. We are coming to you live online at Culturally Lit at Ahamka FM out of Elmina and 8TV in Accra and Easy. That's another radio station in Accra. Get out of here. We're live. Hello, DJ Saki. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh my goodness, you always sound so excited. You know, it must be the distance. It must be the distance. But you know, I love the lighting today. You know, the lighting is so great. I can see your eyes. I can see your smile. Look at that. It's a good thing it's EFUA that's here today. How are you?
I am blessed. I like what you said earlier about living life on purpose, because I feel like that is definitely a good explanation for what I'm trying to do right now.
Oh, that's amazing. We love it. We love it. Welcome, everybody. My name is Aleida Castillo, your host of Culturally Lit Radio Show in New York and Culturally Lit Radio Africa. And we're coming to you live on TV and online and also on radio. The only nationally syndicated show in Ghana that's coming to you on both radio and TV live at the same time. And today, we want to talk about the music industry and what it's like for women. So I know DJ Saki, you don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about what.
You don't know what the the music industry is like for women, or do you? I don't think
The music industry is for women.
No, you don't know anything about it because you don't know what it's like for women because you're not a woman. You're not a woman, so you can't know what it's like.
But I've been meeting women who are into show business, so.
Oh yeah. So
I don't have to be a woman to know what is going on.
Oh really?
Yes.
They're telling you the truth.
I don't know what they call the truth, but I'm here to know your truth.
Well, we have invited Madame EFUA, who is a Ghana Music Awards nominee for this year, right? Ghana Music Award USA. The last time we spoke to you, you were headed to the Ghana Music Awards. I didn't make it, but you were in attendance. How was that for you?
It was an amazing experience to be a part of. Okay, so I did backup for a lot of the artists that performed, and just to be able to be in the room with so many people, like singing with Samini. I grew up looking up to Samini, so be able to sing with him, to sing with people like Choir Master and Praye. It was such an amazing experience, and I took so much from that I'm using in my career today. So I really thank I thank anybody who helped me and get there. I thank my parents. I thank Dondi. I thank my aunt. I just really thank everybody who helped me get there, because it's helping me to this day, because it was such an amazing experience and such a learning experience as an artist.
That's awesome. And just to give a plug, Don D is the founder of Ghana Music Awards USA. and you were nominated for you do gospel, right? That's your area, your genre.
I actually do not, but because my parents are pastors and I love God with a passion, I do sing gospel, but I get confused for a solely gospel artist all the time. I do not sing gospel, but I love to sing gospel.
Well, see,
so
that
you are
is
not
confusing.
you are not 100% a gospel artist.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I like that.
Ooh.
The show part 2.
And also, Don is also putting on another show, right? As a gospel show.
Yeah.
And where is it? It's where you are, right?
Yeah. So it's November 20th at Delaware Technical Community College here in Delaware, and it's going to be an amazing event. It's also my church, House of Praise Chapel in Smyrna, who is in collaboration with that event, and I cannot wait. It's going to be a big festival with Eric Jeshron, Kirk Rogers, so many amazing people that I look up to in the area, and this is not one to miss.
I'm so disappointed that I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be in Ghana during the same time.
I can't.
I'm trying to figure out how I can make it there, but it's not going to be possible, man. It's just not going to be possible. I'm so sad about that.
I'll take good videos for you because this is not one to miss.
It's not the same thing. I'll be watching from Ghana, maybe.
Yeah.
So, there you are on the flyer of a gospel event, and you are telling people you're not a gospel artist.
Yes. So yeah. I was about to ask this question. I was about to ask it.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Okay. So my thing is that I love to sing and I love God. So for me, and even in my regular music, my music will be considered secular, but even in my regular music, I try to intertwine a little bit of God in there. Like it's more of like a positive message and trying to get people to, right. So even though like solely gospel, I do touch the R&B, I do touch the Afro pop, I do touch those areas, but it does have that gospel influence on it. So when I switch back and forth between gospel stuff, people are like, what are you? But for me, I'm just somebody who loves to sing and I'm trying to fulfill my purpose. And I think you reach way more people secularly than just gospel, because somebody who is looking for a message will listen to a secular song and you're like, okay, keep pushing and look up at God in the song. And you're like, oh, wait, I heard that. And that message reached them more than if they would never turn on that gospel song.
So then your purpose for not being classified as a gospel artist is so that you get play on stations that play secular music, right?
Right. And I want to reach as many people as possible.
Okay. Cool. We got to figure out how we don't get confused.
Yeah. I'm already confused.
We got to create a separate genre, like
in Ghana here, when it comes to award, it's a bit different. That we have to know what you do to place you in this category. And it's funny that most of the time when people that normally do secular music do gospel music here, they don't involve them in the gospel category because they think most of the music that they do or they are known for secular music.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
well, I don't know. I mean, I think gospel music though is doing very well though. I mean, I think I don't think, classifying yourself as a gospel artist wouldn't be such a bad idea. But
in the future to come, I don't say that it's a bad thing at all. And that may come in the future. But I just think right now, from what I've seen with my own two eyes, it's just like more people are getting the message because I am secular. They think they're turning the bop, but the bop actually has a good message.
Yeah. You're being more effective in the delivery.
Right.
So, tell me about your journey and how did you get started?
So with music, I've been singing my entire life. Like I remember getting in trouble in preschool for singing in class. Like my teachers would tell my parents that I was singing in class over them. But I remember getting in trouble for those things. But like overall, my whole life I've been singing forever. But when it came to like actually like making my own music and trying to like make it a career path for myself, I've been doing it for about the last 3 years. And I would say the journey has been very interesting. As somebody who makes very, very positive, uplifting music, sometimes you can get some feedback that's like, okay, be more edgy, do things a little bit more like more sexual, and that's not really my style currently. So it does get
Currently, it might change.
and I don't think it will change, but I'm never the
So
person to say that.
I was about to ask you a question there, assuming that you have a one very popular secular musician who wants to feature you in his music, his or her music, like someone like Beyonce, and the music is about sex and all that stuff. Are you going to reject that offer? Assuming it has more money in it, like there's a lot of money involved.
It's a big check.
Yes.
You're gonna.
And knowing myself, I'm probably not denying that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying I'm not saying no to be. I'll pray and ask for forgiveness after. But overall, I have to tell Beyonce.
You see, that's why sometimes I don't know about these rules. I just don't know about these rules. I once told a pastor, I said, hey, pastor, I play the lottery, and he was like, oh, lottery, we don't play lottery. And I said, well, what if I win, and it's like $80 million. And he says, well, you'd have to give your tithing.
You see?
I was like, how would you accept the money? You don't play the lottery. I said, I'll pray for afterwards. I'll bless it.
But I think overall, even if I was to classify myself in the future as a gospel artist, it would have to be in a much different way, because I feel like a lot of gospel artists, as well as pastors, they're pushing away the true side of what being human is. Like, you go through struggles where your morals are tested, and what do you do in those times? So like, it would have to be in a completely different way. Like, you guys would see me transparently, but now this is me coming to God to talk about it.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. That's why one of my favorite quotes is DJ Saki's quote on the intro that I don't think I'll ever take away. We were talking about Jesus being black or white, and churches in Ghana using the image of white Jesus. What did you say, DJ Saki? If you,
I mentioned, if you are having a church, if you are in you are standing in front of your ministry or a crusade, and you mention over here in Ghana that Jesus is black, you might lose all your members. Not even one soul will be coming to your church. Yes.
I mean, that's serious, right? So there's so many things. I can say that because there's so many things that are contradicting or that don't make any sense that I think that music is a perfect way, to address that. I also think that you have another gift, and you were educated as a software engineer.
Yes.
I mean, what? And this is your day job, like your,
So how do you merge it to the music?
I am a busy woman, I would say. So like I say all the time that I'm a full-time software engineer and I'm a full-time musician. So both of them really never stop. Like from 9 to 5, I would say I give that time to be a software engineer, but I do side projects as well in terms of like helping other people build applications and build websites. So those never stop. But with music, it's my passion. I live and breathe music. So even if I'm at work, sometimes I'll get a mental note like this is a song that I want to write, and I write it down quickly. So it's a little bit of bleed over into both sides, but I love what I do. So
assuming that now you have a big gig to go and perform on a platform, and at the same time your software, you have another big gig that has to do with the software thing. Which one are you going to pick?
Easily.
Which one will you go for?
Easily music without thought.
Music?
Without one thought. Even if software was paying more, I'd probably go music without one thought.
All right.
Yeah, and I think because music would be that opportunity would be harder to come by, I would
Right.
say, than where you're trained at, and is such a need for tech.
Right.
There's a merge now of like music that can't exist without technology. So I think that even the fact that you're in music and have that, engineering degree or in the creating of apps and or software, that's invaluable. That people are gonna need you for the next, 20, 50 years.
And
The
that's
fact that the brain can do that.
yeah. And I would say that's mainly why I did my career field. Like I was educated in my undergraduate career as a public policy and music student. So I was not in the software engineering field at all. But once I saw like that public policy doesn't really have a lot of job security, like you can lose your job any day. I'm
Yes.
supposed to be secure. So I in that year I took a gap year and I did a software engineering program to really like get a job where I don't fear losing it every day, even with the pandemic.
Yes, yes. And also there's a lot of remote work and a lot of flexible
Right.
work. Like you can take as much time as you need for your mental health kind of thing. That's what tech companies are. And I'm so glad that we talked about you, I talked to you about this before because I think Ghana needs you. Right, DJ Saki? I think Ghana needs her as
Yeah,
not just a musician,
of
as an
course.
engineer.
We need her both on the music side and as engineer. Yeah.
Yes. I
And
think so.
We
I'm
need
here.
all of you.
So let me ask you this: how has you're in two industries, and both tech and music is very difficult for women. Not a lot of women are in tech, and not a lot of women are, featured as
Music.
artists.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges? Tell me about that. How does that being a woman affected that beginning?
So I would say being in the music industry as a woman is actually a little bit more tough than being in tech as a woman. And I say that
Wow.
because being in tech as a woman, your skills like precede you. So if you're good at what you do, people will respect you more. Like they might have that initial like, okay, this is a woman, I don't know if she's going to do the right thing, and then once you get there and you prove them wrong, they're like, wow, like your skills precede you. Same with music, like with the music industry, there's a lot more corruption in there. So like
Yes.
the music industry, there's a lot more sex
A lot of what corruption.
corruption. Like there's a lot more sex intertwined. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot more like underground money deals intertwined than with tech. I know that like okay, you may underestimate me because I'm a woman, but my
Woman.
skills themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it's more tangible, right? Music is
Right.
a more feel good type of situation, right? And the music can, just controlling the airwaves and music is a lot harder than saying, hey, here's a software that can solve a problem, right?
Right. Right.
That's more tangible. And so
Right.
that's easier to manage. Has there been any situations you mentioned more sex and more, corruption? So has there been, a situation for you where you found yourself where you have to think, if I do this, I'm compromising my morals, or there's other females in the area that are kind of doing things that to get that record deal or get ahead in the music industry and say, hey, they go past you and surpass you because they're willing to do things that you're not.
So I've seen these things on a little bit of a smaller level. Like for as a woman overall, you always have to be careful in terms of like what situations you put yourself in. And it's sad, but you always have to be careful about what situations you put yourself in. So for me, I have been in some situations where like even before the Ghana Music Awards, like not connected to it at all, but being in conversations with people and we're talking about strictly music, we're talking about strictly business, and then it moves over to a flirty side because I'm an attractive woman, or it moves over to like there's some innuendos in the conversation, and things like that happen all the time. And sometimes you have to be like, like this is not correct, or like you have to call it in the moment, even though that may cost you an opportunity.
And how do you call it? What do you say? What does somebody say? Hey, baby.
You know, for me, I'm not gonna say that it's always easy to call a situation, but for me, my number one is I feel uncomfortable. Can we talk in a certain way? Can we change the conversation? Because sometimes it may not be so cut and dry. It may not be so sexual. Like, hey, baby, is not really like something that's like cut and dry. Like, you can't be like, okay, respectful. But the I don't feel comfortable usually changes people's trajectory without you being rude or without you being like disrespectful.
That's a very good one. I'm not usually as nice. So I have to copy that. Go ahead, DJ.
So are you under any record label? Do you have management you're working with?
Currently, I am not under any record label or under any management. I just put together a team that I started working with to help me with more things, but that's even new. To this point, I've been doing everything myself currently.
Are you using your engineering money to do your music?
I am. That's why I'm.
You're being nosy. All right. Well, no, this is the reality, right? So you have to fund your startup. Everybody does. No matter where you are, you have to fund your startup. So what has been the hardest part or the most challenging part in this startup process and finances? Do you think being a woman affects you in a negative way or positive way in terms of financing?
I think in terms of financing, being a woman, you have to like think about more of what are options that you can do to fund your music career. So, and everybody has to think about this, but I think in terms of being a woman, you might have to put yourself in a few uncomfortable spaces in order to get there. So for me, I was not a tech person at all. I wasn't somebody who was just like building computers and fixing software, but I'm like, software engineers make a lot of money. So I need to make money in order to fund this career. So I put myself in an uncomfortable situation for a year to be able to do this. And you have to decide more of that. And it's sad that those spaces are not really comfortable for women yet, but sometimes you do have yourself in a situation where you're talked down to just to make an extra check, where a man may not have to be in that situation where he has to be talked down to.
Because you're, as a woman, you know, in many industries, right? Women are not really being respected as having a valuable opinion.
Right.
Like your opinion doesn't count.
But I think gradually these things are changing. It's not like before, you know. It is changing.
You know, when I go to Ghana, sometimes
I would say it's.
When you go to Ghana, what happened? No. I'm interested in what you're about to say.
No, you're saying, well, these things are changing. You know, these things are changing. But when I go to Ghana,
gradually, we are paying more respect to women. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, when you have a business meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, FY. We were losing your sound. What were you saying?
I said, I think.
Okay, go on.
Go ahead.
No, ladies first.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
I think you always have to prove yourself first before getting the needed respect, and that's the hard part. Like, and I don't see them having to push so hard to prove themselves, to prove that their opinion is valuable. I think women have to prove that their opinion is valuable for the room before they're like, okay, I respect you truly, and this is what I respect what you have to say.
That's true. And even when you have that strong opinion about certain things, it's like, you know, if a man states his opinion or his thought about a certain project, it's like, that sounds like something like it's very innovative. We have to think about that. That's interesting. How? And then a woman says it, it's like, okay, this is an angry woman, you know, or this is a like, who is she? Who invited her here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially and then, you know, but here when I go to Ghana, it's just I just won't be invited to the meeting, you know?
Yeah. and it's terrible.
Especially when you're going to talk about money. So it's like it happens here too. So women are nice to have in the, you know, space where people are making a deal or doing a presentation, or things are like, hey, you know, this is the vision is being casted. This is what we want to do. But as soon as it's time to cut the check, it's like you missed that meeting for some reason. Like they didn't, you know, they didn't call you in. Have there been times where you realized that you had a meeting and you realized, oh, there was a meeting before the meeting and you weren't invited?
Yeah. There's been times where I got to the meeting and now they're talking about, like you said, the presentation portion, or like you realize that there's stuff that other people in the room get, like the phrases that they get that you did not get. And it's because it was a financial meeting, and it's because it was a solely music meeting, especially like when it comes to like performing at events and being on tour and things like that. As soon as it comes down to the finances and like the logistics of it, you're not in that meeting anymore.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. How are you using your engineering skills to promote your music? Not financially, I'm talking about, since you're an IT, music-wise, a lot of we use IT and internet to promote a lot of music. How are you using it to promote your music?
I think that's a great question. I would say like so I graduated within this year from my program. And I would say after I graduated, people see a huge difference in the graphics that I use, in the ads that I use, and then in the video quality of the things that I do now. I think I have a lot more resources in terms of like making sure everything looks clean and succinct before it comes out. And I'm getting a lot better response from it on social media. And then my ads are also coming out a lot better because it's getting so much response, because it's like, this is clean cut. I know how to make the flyers myself. I know how to make the graphics myself. And like, I know how to get the quality that people like myself. I don't have to go to somebody else for that. So
and that's a huge expense if you're doing stuff continuously.
Right.
It's a huge expense. Yeah. Well, DJ, maybe she should teach you how to do some flyers so I could stop doing some.
Yeah, exactly. Now you are telling everybody you'll handle it. Okay. You see, a woman is designing a flyer. That's why I tell you, gradually things are changing. Yeah. I don't even design flyers. You are the one designing the flyers. So things are changing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, okay. No, in that respect, women always did all the work. They just
there she goes again.
They just allowed the men to step out of the house. We allowed you to step out of the house.
Well, let's talk about your music, Angels.
Yes.
Is that a gospel music? It's a bit gospel, a bit. Are you talking about the angels in heaven, or angels as in relationship angel? And you know, I'm interested in those angels. So
okay.
Yeah.
So Angels is not classified as a gospel song, but I guess you could say it has some gospel, just like me. But
I would say,
overall, I wrote Angels about 3 years ago. And I was going through a really rough time. Like I had lost my dad and I had lost my grandma, and I was achieving so many things. Like I was getting ready to graduate from college in about a year or two. My music got radio play. I finally started making music. I was getting called out to a lot of events. And I was like, wow, I wish my dad and my grandma were here to see this. And I always had the question, like, are they watching over me? Can they truly see this? Or is that a bunch of mumbo jumbo? Like, is that something people say to make people feel better? Or is that like truly what's going on here? So for Angels was that answer for me. Like, yes, they're seeing this. Yes, they're seeing all the things that I'm accomplishing. And yes, they're proud of me. So Angels is that.
So it's a spiritual music. It's a kind of very spiritual, you know.
You're trying to classify her again, right? Let's say inspirational, positive music is what she wants to. But there's no classification for that. So where would they put you? Where would this song go if you were to be classified?
Nominated. Yeah, up
Yeah.
to classify.
I would say the song would go in the R&B inspirational soul realm. I know
Mm,
three different realms, but to me, I always think it's okay to be a first to do something. Just because it's not around doesn't
yes.
mean that you have to fall within one category or another.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Can we
you could
listen to
just
this
see.
music?
We want to listen to the song right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and I have a couple of more questions, Mr. DJ Saki.
Okay.
Let's listen to them. No, but we can watch the video. Let's watch the video. Go ahead. You want to cue
All
it
right.
in?
Yep.
Okay.
Showed me the God that was in me. He told me I could be what I please, and showed me the lambs that I shall feed. My angels are watching over me. My angels
Wow. Wow. So, do you watch this video often?
I do.
Or you do? And how do you feel when you watch it?
It makes me proud because I think for me, this song is something that I've been working on to put out for a long time. Um, it's gone through so many versions, so many iterations. It's been in the hands of so many different producers. So to finally be able to like physically see it, like it's out, there's a visual, like people can watch it. I'm proud of it, and the views are going well. And it's my highest viewed video
I
overall.
saw
So
that.
I'm
I
so
saw
proud.
that. I think inspirational. This is where we are right now in this time in what's going on in the world, right? People are really, really in need of comfort.
Right.
They want to feel secure. They want to feel, they don't want to feel like, well, if this is the end of the world, like, like where would I go? Or if things are going awful, like what is happening? What, is anybody there for me?
Right.
The idea that somebody's watching over me, though, I grew up like that. And I was just, um, I just thought it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo, really. I mean, like you said earlier, because it's like, come on, really? Like, do we know? Like, do you know anybody that passed away and came back and told you about it? You know, they say, hey, I was watching over you. But
You don't, but I've come to realize that there are times where you feel it. Like there are
yes,
times like today it feels a little bit different. Like I feel my dad here. Like I feel something different here today.
right. And we are all spirits having a human experience, right?
Right.
And so you can feel energy, you can feel all that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a great song. In terms of making this video, um, did you find it difficult to figure out what to do in the video that, would have people make it, this watchable? Like there's so many videos showing so many images that it seems like sometimes people are desensitized to anything that's, nice and calm. So did you have difficulties coming up with that?
I did. I would say that this was my first like professionally recorded music video like that I've hired people to do. And it was tough to like figure out like what to do to keep people engaged. And what I kept coming back to is that I didn't want to do anything that was not truly me, like what I would truly do. So like that's why I have going to the studio there. Like I want to feel like when I'm going to the studio, my dad and my grandma are watching over me, dancing. I'm always dancing. Like I want to feel their presence there. Just being in nature. I love nature. I want to feel their presence there. So I try to like really think like what is truly me? What is not me trying to put on? What is not me trying to like get to another level? What is just truly me? And I feel like
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I have another question, and this is related to, and I think you touched on it before. It's to the fact of people taking you seriously. Does that come into play when you're trying to hire someone? Because when you're starting out, right, it's like, no, I don't work with the likes of you. You're too young. You're too early. You just started.
yeah.
That kind of thing.
I would say that at this point in my life, uh, I've come to the point where it's like I expect to be underestimated, and which is really sad, but I expect to be underestimated. So I try to go into every room with my A game in terms of if I'm going to hire somebody, if I'm going to ask somebody for something. I come with everything planned out. I come with a budget. I come ready to talk about the things that I want to talk about so that they know that I'm professional. Like once people see that I have like a business card, once people see I have a logo, that I have a website, once they hear the types of conversations that I'm having, like I just spoke to a videographer and they're like, you're the first artist who's ever come to me with a full vision. Like I try to set myself apart in that way by being prepared because I expect that people are going to underestimate me because I am a woman and because I just started in the music industry.
That's a very good point because and nowadays people, you say I do this, and the first thing they do is they Google your name or they try to find your website and see if you're, like what are you doing or if what you're saying matches with what they're looking at.
Right.
So that brings me to the next question of tips. DJ Saki, you can interrupt anytime if you have any questions, but do you have any tips for women who are starting out or who are in the business now, early in their game? Like what advice or tips would you give them?
I would say, first and foremost, know where you're going and do not let anybody change that for you. You can learn and grow more on your journey, but if you know where you want to be, there's going to be a lot of people on your journey who are going to tell you otherwise. And you have to have a very clear vision, or you will quit. This music is not easy. Music is expensive. Music costs money. Music takes time. So there's going to be so many people on the journey who are going to tell you differently. So first, have a vision and continue to stick to that vision. I'll also say pray about your goals and work towards them every day. Like there's a lot of people who pray about things and then they don't do the physical work that it takes every day. I'm always learning, I'm always growing, always reading something about how to be a better musician, always looking at some type of class I can take to learn more about the music industry. I'm taking a certification course right now. Just do the best you can to, first of all, make connections, make sure that you're prepared for every meeting, and then also do the best you can to also keep the connections that you have happy, because first and foremost, you never know who somebody knows or what they'll be willing to do for you if you have a clear vision, and then if you're also kind to them as well. So I would say those are my biggest first tips.
That's a big advice. It's that old adage in saying that don't burn any bridges, right? Because you never know when you have to cross it, right?
Right.
With that said, and the keeping everybody kind of happy or satisfied, do you feel pressured to conform to certain ideas? Because that comes with, hey, maybe in order to keep this big producer connection means that you have to conform to what he wants you to do. And then that's, it's different than what you want. How does that work for you?
I think I would be a liar to say that pressure doesn't exist, because it truly does. But I think that's why that vision is so important, because if anything doesn't align with that vision, then to separate yourself from that. So for me, I know where I want to be. So if something does not connect with my morals already, it's not a bridge that I want to burn, but I will not go against my morals in order to get to where I want to be. It just shows me that you're not a part of that journey. And it's okay to let that bridge burn if they're trying to go ahead and cross something with you, that a boundary with you that you're not willing to cross. But I think when I say keep people happy, I mean in terms of being kind and keeping up your end of bargains, not doing anything that you have a problem with in terms of your vision and your goals.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Or basically, don't say you're going to do something and then not do it, or
right.
Having integrity, really.
Right.
Just having integrity. If you, as a woman, then, if you are holding tight to these morals or these values that you have, you're becoming, right? Because as we grow older, we start becoming into ourselves, right? So in this becoming, and when you have to stand up to someone and say, no, that's not the direction that I want to go, do you feel pressured more as a woman to say, hey, you know what, these kinds of offers or compromises or requests to compromise come more to me than, say, men? So men can get away with a lot more. And then for me, I feel that I lose more opportunities because I have to be, I have to stick to what I believe in.
I would say definitely yes. I think with men, the deals more are based in money, but with women, it tends to go into the realms of sex and money. And there should be certain lines. Well, for me personally, there's certain lines that I'm not willing to cross, and that has lost me out on some things, seeing some other musicians who have done things I'm not gonna put people's names out there, but like slept with big producers to get like big records. They're ahead, yes, but to me, I wouldn't be able to live with myself after that. So it's like what is important to me is like making the impact that I have to make and not being on that crazy level. Because if you do this just for fame and just for money, you're gonna end up not happy. I can almost guarantee it. That's why a lot of these stars who are rich and famous, you're like, why are they so unhappy? They didn't do it the right way, and they didn't continue on the journey where they needed to do it. So it gets rough sometimes. I do have to say no to a good amount of things, but it's worth it to me.
You know, I'm kind of old now. You and DJ Saki, you know, you're young and all that, right?
Why do you keep on saying you are old all the time?
Because I am. So, you know,
you don't look old.
Well, you know, I am gonna get you new glasses, though. You know, because I know that those are not brand new. Mine are. I just got these, so I know I'm seeing myself. I'm old.
No.
So, you know, and of course with age, you know, sometimes can come wisdom, right? Not necessarily all the time. But I remember this is the industry, you know, Hollywood, as I say, or the music industry, the entertainment industry, let's say. It's like that, right? There's a lot of the fashion industry, right? There's a lot of people having to compromise on their values to get ahead because that's what's being offered, right? It's kind of like they're dangling the carrot before you. Here's this TV show you want to be on, but you have to sleep with me or you have to go out with me and do certain things, right?
Yeah.
And when you say no, you don't get a call. And then the next time when you turn on the TV, you see the person on screen and you're like, what? You know?
Hold on. They want to sleep with you before they get on the TV screen?
Yes.
Wow.
Or in the music industry is, you know, before they even work with you or sign you or, you know, give you play or make you part of their team.
I know about that, but for you to come for TV interview and I have to sleep with you before, that's not actually makes sense at all.
Well, it does because it's the same thing. It's money, right? I mean, once you do that, once you're locked into a contract, just like you're locked into a contract with music, you can be locked into a contract with TV and it's money, right? So you're working for the art, but you're also working to get paid. Nobody's trying to work for free. Right. And so if they tell you, and when I was younger, so 20 some odd years ago, when I'm in this circle more, you know, there was a couple of situations happened to me. One person said to me, you know, hey, well, you know, it was the show Beverly Hills 90210. I don't know if you remember that show, but it was out of California and it was a sitcom. And we were sitting in Florida and the guy was saying, if you want a part in this show, you know, well, all you have to do is go with me in that room over there, you know. And I was like, get out of here. And of course, you know, there were females that did that. And of course, the females got the parts, right?
Yeah.
Then later, there was money. People offer you everything. Like, you can live like this. You can have all this money. You can live in a penthouse. You can have all that. And then you say no. And you feel good about it. But then 10 years go by and you don't have any money. And you're like, man, maybe I should have just done it that one time. And then that's what happens, right? That's what many times people just give up and say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not going to say that because the offers come a lot. I'm not going to say it's easy to say no every single time because these are a lot of real opportunities on the line sometimes. Like this could be the difference between people knowing your music and not knowing.
Yeah.
And it's never easy. But for me, I just know personally that I want to get to the point where I want to get where the world knows my music, but I want to be happy too behind those closed doors. I don't to be double thinking my character, like what was the point of my life. I truly want to like feel like I made good decisions throughout this journey and not just have taken the easy way out every time.
And you can do that because you have that software engineering degree.
Right.
That paycheck helps.
It definitely does help.
So, what has been the greatest challenge as a woman so far?
I would say the greatest challenge as a woman so far in the music industry is getting to a point where people take my music seriously and then people take my words seriously. I think as a woman, you have to keep showing, like I said earlier about proving yourself. I had to get to a point where people believe that I'm credible before they like truly put money behind me, before they put energy about behind me, before they invite me to their event, before they go ahead and give me an opportunity. I've come to a place where I'm finally starting to be as a credible artist, but all that legwork had to be done by me and like my team and my family. It's like all that had to be put in, and that's been the toughest part because I feel like and it may just be me feel easy for me because I'm a woman. I see that a lot of men, once, especially white men, like once you have talent, that's it. That's all it takes. Like
Mhm.
they're putting their money behind you. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. But for me, you have to have talent. You have to have the body image. You have to have the hair together, the makeup. You have to have the music all together itself. Like everything has to be good in order for them to trust that you're a good investment. And it's been tough.
Yeah, it's that equity, right? There's no equity. And then what irks me the most is that then someone that is of color or woman and or male that reaches those levels where they can give more opportunity to those people that look like them, they just kind of join the white males and continuing the lack of equity, right? And not offering that and then saying, hey, you know, I got that one, and then they don't need any more, right?
Yeah.
Which is why you see a lot of males in the industry.
Right.
As opposed to seeing women.
Right.
You know, DJ, you're thinking about something? It's stressing you out. This conversation is stressing you out. I can see it. What?
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth. You're
It's
not
the
far from
truth.
the truth. Yeah.
It's the truth. And
We need to
then
give the women more attention.
yeah, well, I mean, you know, men would be a lot happier if they did.
But I think in the industry, the women that are getting the attention are those showing their body and other stuff. And I know if you're not that type, so yours need more effort, you know, to get to that level.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Come again?
It's crazy. I mean, you know,
yes.
You know, you have to wear mini skirts and you have to wear, you know, broken shorts and you have to wear a net, just a net. It's like nothing else, just a net wrap around you, and it's like, hey, you know,
going out, you have to put a lot of effort into what you're doing because now your talent has to be like on another level before they, because it's not just a looks thing. It's like, okay, what I'm doing here has value and not just my looks.
Yeah. That's why I also take care of very well the relationships of those people who lend your time, who lend their time and say, you know, they listen to you and they explore your ideas with you and they give you the opportunity and they give you the chance. Those are people that you never let go. Those are the people that you know, no matter how many offers you have coming your way, their condition is that person has to come with you. They're part of your team. You know, you never let those people go because not everybody's doing that.
Right.
And then you oftentimes don't want to go to that person that's giving the opportunity to everybody else because you know how they are already.
Right.
They're going to come at you with some crazy offers. Tell me about the gospel industry that you're not in. And
so if she's not in, how can she tell you about it?
Just the same way you can tell me about women in the industry and you're not a woman.
That is a smart one. That is a smart one.
So tell me about the gospel industry. The gospel music industry, you know, we have a different level of expectation from not only, you know, the choirs, the pastors who are, you know, actually singing and putting out music, just, you know, the females too. Are you or anybody in the gospel music industry, do you think that they're experiencing the same challenges that you just described, even when it comes to the sexual part and all that? The same?
I would say I'm almost sure of it. It's just more under closed doors. I think a lot of opportunities still come the same way because a lot of these people are still human, and that's the only part that I don't like about the gospel music industry is that the same problems are there, they're just hidden. And
Yeah.
I would rather go with the enemy that I than the enemy
So,
that and
Yeah.
I think that people may think that it's less, but it's definitely still there.
Mm.
wow.
So you're saying you rather go with the enemy that you do know than the one that you don't.
Right.
So are you saying that in the secular world it's more straight up, so you rather deal with that?
I'd
Is that
rather do that and automatically tell them no than get to the point where I think that this is about to be a new experience and they're like, oh, but you have to sleep with me first. So
Yeah, right,
So,
right.
you are saying that some of the gospel female artists, they sleep with maybe the producers and other people, and they pretend, and they'll be holding the microphone in front of congregations, say, "Hallelujah, Jesus! Hallelujah, Jesus!" Really? Wow.
well, that,
DJ Saki.
I'm gonna say that that's not what I said here, but you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Basically, DJ Saki, what we're
Mhm.
saying is that, sinners are everywhere, in and outside the
Yes,
church,
yes, I know.
right?
Yeah,
But that's why I say that we have a different level of expectation. If we hear you saying, praise God, hallelujah, and then, we see you like, at a topless joint,
yeah,
waving money and stuff, and then we say, oh, well, wait a minute, that's contradiction. And
exactly.
and one of the things that we forget is that we all have contradictions.
Right.
Mhm.
That's why we have to not really judge,
True.
really.
Okay, so do you have maybe a new project you are working on?
Good question, DJ.
All I'm gonna say is that the end of the year is an amazing time for EFUA music. It's
Okay.
gonna be a lot more out on new platforms, so please keep a lookout. Follow me on Instagram at EFUA Music Official because there's gonna be a lot of announcements coming soon. I know that you guys can see I'm very excited, but
You
there's a
are.
lot
Yes,
of
I want to hear more. You're not going to tell us anything.
I think she
This
has a
ain't
lot
the
of
industry.
gigs towards December. She has a lot of gigs towards December. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it going to be for us?
I'll come back, but not even gigs, but music.
Okay.
New sounds that I haven't really put out yet, but just a whole new version of EFUA that nobody's really heard yet, and I'm very excited.
When are you coming to Ghana?
I am trying to plan it. I would love to. I need to figure it out.
Really?
I need to figure it out.
You've avoided your own country. This is not fair.
Well, DJ, let me
if
tell you why.
Try to get there.
Tell me why. Tell me why. You are coming to Ghana in 2 weeks' time, so tell me why.
I'm gonna tell you why. Very few people like me decide to spend so much money just on flights to go to Ghana.
So much money.
And that's the real.
Okay.
I think Ghana needs to work on, as a country, to make more irresistible propositions, so that people can really make the travel worth their while.
Right.
Because it takes a lot to make that money that it costs to even travel just twice a year. And not to factor in the setback that, from being away. When you come back, you got to kind of, regain that. So it's not everybody that's doing it. In fact, people said that I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? So I'm hoping that it pays off, and I'm doing that with the intention that it'll pay off. But if it doesn't pay off, right, you will also know. I will tell you.
Me?
I will tell all of you.
Okay.
World.
It will pay off. Can you share your social media handles, your YouTube? Because I just followed you on. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. Mention your handles so that people will support your music. Yeah, I did.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
So can you share your handles with us?
Okay. So on Instagram, I'm EFUA Music Official. So EFUA Music Official. On Facebook, I am EFUA Music. On TikTok and Twitter, I am EFUA Music Official. And please follow me. I think you'll really enjoy the experience. There's this new phrase that people say, "You gonna love it here." You seriously gonna love it there. So follow me.
Wow, amazing. Well, we've come to the end of the show. Yes, I really appreciate taking you taking the time to meet with us on TV and on Culturally Lit. I want you to say, we're going to go out with you saying, "Hi, I am EFUA, and you're watching Culturally Lit Africa." Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Hi, I'm EFUA, and you're watching Culturally Lit Africa.
That's what's up.
You're listening to Aleda Castillo and DJ Saki on Culturally Lit Africa.